Happy New Year 2018. Hard to believe that Stu and I both made it there. We're happy to be here alive and kicking on the right side of the dirt, as they say. Wild card weekend. Here we go.
Here we go.
Titans at Chiefs. And since you're drinking, I'll be talking. Titans are 23rd on offense, 13th on defense. You would think that their strong point was rushing, but they were the 15th ranked rushing attack.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't belong in a playoff game if you look at these numbers. But they're going against a Chiefs team that is very unbalanced. 5th on offense, 28th on D.
Right.
Both teams have only 2 wins against playoff teams, which surprised me. I thought the Chiefs had more. They started out with 2 great ones.
Yeah,
they beat New England
and Philly. And that's it. And they hadn't beaten anybody else since.
Right. Then they had that weird 7 weeks where they picked up their 6 losses in 7 weeks, and now they're on a 4-game win streak.
Yep.
Simply put, it's the Chiefs' D's job to hold up against the Titans' run. If the Chiefs' defense can do that, and if they can contain Mariota, who is going to have to make some plays with his legs in this game, I think the Chiefs win this game. And what I'm basing a lot of that on is the 4-game win streak where they've only given up 15, 13, 13, and 24 points.
Yeah, but against the AFC West and Miami, I mean, you're not playing against
but also
teams
a big
that
game.
are doing great.
It was a big game against the Chargers, and it was in games that they needed because of that slide in the middle of the season.
Right.
The explosiveness of the Chiefs convinced me that they're going to score over 21 points this game. I think they're going to hold the Titans under that, so I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, Titans have no significant victories against anybody. The Chiefs at least had 2 at the beginning of the season.
Titans got the Jags a couple times.
Yeah, all right.
You got to. Well, I mean, that's pretty.
I don't see Jacksonville going further than this next weekend anyway.
All right.
So
we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah,
but all right.
It could be a good game to watch because there are some exciting players on both sides of the ball. So for that alone, this game is worth watching because I think it'll be a fun game to watch. But I agree. Kansas City just has to tighten up and keep Mariota from escaping. The one run that he had yesterday to kind of get the first down to seal the victory was not epic. It was just enough.
It was efficient. It's a Russell Wilson run, not a Cam Newton run.
Yeah, I was surprised he actually got through. He was surrounded by a multitude of heavenly angels, but they evidently can't tackle. They can only deliver the baby Jesus. So I am taking the Chiefs at home in this game.
All right. It's not what I would call a great wild card weekend.
No.
The second game, though, is a pretty darn good one. We got Falcons at Rams, and I went back and forth on this one a couple of times. I keep thinking, you want the battle-tested Falcons that were in the Super Bowl and had the champs by the throat, versus Goff, who it's hard to shake that, he was a bust the first year, and Gurley wasn't much better. But if you look at what they've done now, it's pretty darn impressive. Goff has 28 TDs and only 7 interceptions. You compare that to Ryan, who's 20 TDs and 12 INTs.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look at the defenses. The Rams gave up, I think, 1 more point a game than the Falcons did. But the Rams had a lot more sacks, had a lot more takeaways, created points on the defensive side of things. They had safeties. They're a much more explosive team. And offensively, they scored something like 7 more points a game. So when you look at the totality of the season and not the reputation of the teams coming into the season, you go the Rams D had a better season. The Rams O had a better season. I got to take the Rams. Initially I looked at this game and I circled it Falcons, and then I started thinking about it and looking at the notes, and I went, damn it, I can't take. There's going to be an upset this week, and I'm going to miss it.
Yeah, probably me too. Falcons won 2 games against playoff teams, Panthers and the Saints. Rams didn't beat anybody of note and lost both to the Saints and the Vikings. So that's kind of boding for the next round, in my opinion. I do like the volatility of the Rams offense. I think they have more explosiveness, and because they're home, I think they can jump out, get an early lead. And what I think will happen then is the defense will just pin their ears back. Falcons will have to throw, and that'll play into the Rams' strength. I do believe the Rams win this one. Bye-bye, Matty Ice.
Falcons have what's his name, Coleman and Freeman back though. They're a pretty balanced offense. It's an interest. This is, to me, this game and the Panthers-Saints game are the 2 good playoff games.
I think all the NFC games are going to be the better games of the weekends.
Yeah, no, agreed completely. Because we're now going to look at Bills at Jags. And the Bills have the 29th offense and the 26th ranked defense. How the hell did they become a playoff team? It's because they can run the ball. They've got the 6th ranked rushing attack. And what the Jags do well is an amazingly tough front seven. Second overall in D. Offense was surprisingly good. And I think they were the first in the rushing defense. I could be wrong on that. Anyway, what the Jags do really well is what the Bills' only hope of winning this game is, and LaShawn McCoy is gimpy. So today is what, January 1st.
It's New Year's.
So we don't know what his prognosis is going to be at the end of the week. They're saying he might give it a go, but your best weapon is hurt, and you're going against a team that stops what you do well on the road. Doesn't bode well for the Bills. Give me the Jags.
Yeah, neither team, I think, is going very far in the playoffs here. So whoever wins this, enjoy your weekend. And if McCoy is out of practice for a few days, I think that even hurts Buffalo more. The Jacks ain't Miami on defense. So Buffalo had a decent day yesterday, but they were playing Miami. But in turn, the Jaguars looked awful yesterday, and that's not the way you want to enter into the playoffs. So was Tennessee's defense playing that much better? Or was Jacksonville not trying? It was hard to tell. I didn't pay attention to that game much. I'm going to say in the wild card round, typically the home team wins, and that's why I'm going to take Jacksonville. The Jacks D is opportunistic. Buffalo doesn't turn the ball over very much, which plays into the strength of Jacksonville's D. They create a lot of turnovers, but if Buffalo's not turning it over, it's going to make it harder for them to win because I don't think Bortles is ready to be the next playoff win. I'm just taking the home team here and then lose the following week.
That's why the key for the Jags is actually sort of their offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett. It's don't let Bortles take risks early, get a lead, play field position football, and let your freaking defense do what it does. I mean, I'd come out there. You know how they script the first 15 plays? It would be running play, running play, running play, running play, running play. I don't care if we had 3 false starts and it was 1st and 30. I'd be handing off the ball if I were the Jags.
So we agree on those two.
So Panthers at Saints, and Stu, I'm going to let you go first.
All right, well, the Saints have beaten the Panthers twice already this year, and this is the only team that's decent that they've beaten. So as with all these wild card teams, they all beat bad teams to get here, as they should. They should win the games that they won to get the playoffs. So can the Saints get the hat trick here against the Panthers? Why not? Cam has just been overthrowing guys. He just seems out of sync the last 3 weeks. But still, the Saints lost to Tampa yesterday. So what are you picking here? I think the Panthers go as Cam goes. I don't see him in form, playing well, and then to go on the road against the Saints. Again, wild card, home teams win, so I'm taking the Saints to go on to next week and lose to whomever they play.
Yeah, I pretty much have the same thoughts. They say it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. Saints won 31-21, 34-13. It comes down to the Saints offense against the Panthers defense. That's the 2 strengths of these teams right now. Like you said, Cam is coming off of a bad game, 3 interceptions. Olsen appears to be gimpy. He's not 100%, which really does hurt them because he is a huge part of their offense. McCaffrey hasn't been as explosive as they expected.
Right.
You expected that guy to be up there in the total yards, and have a few more long TDs.
He had moments, but not a full season.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a close game. This might be the closest of all the games. I thought, looking at it originally, I thought Falcons-Rams was going to be a very close game. When I look at this, I think Panthers have the best chance of pulling off the upset, but I am taking the Saints on this one. More of a ball-hawking D, and if they win the turnover battle, which based on what they've done this season, I think the Saints defense could win the turnover battle for them.
And Kamara and Ingram can do whatever they want them to do. So they can run, they can catch, they can
special teams for Kamara. I mean, you're coming at him with a little bit more in the way of weapons, and you're at home. Saints are going to be, the Saints fan hoodat and all that is going to be crazy. So I'm taking the Saints too.
All right.
So that's our wild card weekend. We don't have big plans for any of these teams moving forward.
Yeah, so just watch them, enjoy them, and then wait for the weekend where it starts counting.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Happy New Year. See ya.